All right, why don't we kick things off? I just got a few slides, show you maybe a topology or two, and then we'll do a quick demo. So, once again, it's Matt Madawi, based out of Texas, solution architect here. So, anything technical, our team is the one that will help you through that. And let's talk about Megaport. So we're a hyperscaler of network connectivity on demand. Everything is paid for what you use. It's point and click, and we have a private backbone, so our security is beefed up. Who do we connect? Anybody you need to. So all the major clouds, AWS, SAP, Oracle. Right now we connect up to 2,800 enterprise customers all across the world. So we're actually based out of Brisbane, Australia. We also cover, so that's Asia Pacific, North America, and EMEA. We have more cloud on-ramps than anybody as far as for like Azure. We're probably number two for AWS. One of the differences about Megaport is that we're data center agnostic. So we support all most major data centers, including Equinix, CyrusOne, Cologix, and we also have a marketplace, so you can connect to other Megaport customers privately using our backbone. One of the best ways to kind of explain what we are is by talking about what we're not. So we're not going to be your last mile. So, from your branch office or from your headquarters or your privately owned data center, we're in the colo, which we're in 950 worldwide. So from the colo out, we can build your connectivity. So you call that middle mile. Just to give you an idea of what the overall Megaport uh, network looks like, let's walk you through a diagram. So let's say you're in CyrusOne in Dallas and you wanted to take down a port. No problem. And a very standard use case is using that to connect to AWS, which we have on-ramps in Dallas for. So you would be, a port in Dallas, on-ramping to AWS in Dallas. Once you get to that on-ramp, you can go to anywhere else within the AWS network on their backbone. Let's also say you were in Atlanta and Chicago, and you also wanted to connect those to different clouds. Totally straightforward. If you want to take things a step further, you can also use your Megaport to connect other ports together for a data center interconnect. Next up, let's say you had your application in AWS and maybe a database in Oracle. So we have our Megaport Cloud Router, which can be deployed to connect your clouds together for that cloud-to-cloud connectivity without having to hairpin traffic back to your data center. Finally, if we want to round out our suite of access products, we have something called the Megaport Virtual Edge, MVE, which allows you to deploy a network function virtualized device like a SD-WAN router or a next generation firewall. So the biggest difference between the MCR and the MVE, the MCR is like a full stack router that's managed in the Megaport portal. It includes licensing. The MVE is a, a bring your own license model. So we provide the compute, the networking, and the internet. You would bring your license, and we support several vendors such as Palo Alto, Fortinet on the firewall side, Cisco, FTD, Aviatrix, and then on the SD-WAN side, we also do Aruba, VMware, and Versa. But that's the overall view. Today, what I wanted to talk about was connecting to GCP. So let's exit out of this. And I'm going to show you a topology first of kind of what we're going to set up. So just to give you a better detailed view, let's look at doing our best practice, which is 2 ports in diversity zones going to in 2 separate connections going to Google. So in this case, we're going to find a data center. We're going to deploy these 2 ports. Diversity zones, which are we have red and blue diversity zones, which means it's different physical devices on the Megaport layer with different power supplies, different paths into and out of the data center. So you have that extra redundancy, and then connecting to an on-ramp. The rule of thumb is you want to go to the nearest on-ramp to wherever you're physically located. So this is an overall view of what we're going to do. Let's go to the Megaport portal and actually get these guys started. So I've already logged in. When you first log in, you get this dashboard view, and you can see all of our physical points of presence, as I mentioned, EMEA, Asia Pacific, and North America. What's really important is to keep looking on this page because we're constantly adding new sites. We probably have 70 or so in the pipeline right now to be deployed, and we're constantly adding new sites. Let's go to the services portal. I'm sorry, the services section. You can see in the upper left, these are the 3 different products we talked about. So port, MCR, and the MVE. Let's go ahead and do a port. And we're going to go somewhere in Texas because why not? So let's see here. Actually, Fort Worth, I think. So Center Square Fort Worth has diversity options. Let's do, so you can do 1, 10, or 100 gigs. Let's do 10 gigs. And you can do a diverse pair. So what that means is you have, as we talked about, red and blue zones, port 1, port 2, and we're just gonna go on a month-to-month term. So one of the best things about our platform, it's all flexible and scalable, built around what you need. So you can start off on a month-to-month, and if you decide you like it or you want to extend things out, the longer you extend the contract, the cheaper it gets. So this is the price for 2 ports. And just for your reference, 1 gig is the same price as a 10 gig. So we have a new feature where at some sites we can actually facilitate the cross connect for you. It looks like in Center Square that's not available. Um, so we're creating a diverse pair. Let's go ahead and click next. So here's a summary: 10 gigs, 1 red, 1 blue, and it's as simple as that. So we're going to click add port, and you'll see that it's put the order into your shopping cart up here. Nothing's ordered yet until you actually click review order and order now. And so what this does is it kicks off the automation. All of our ports are pre-patched. So in about 60 seconds, you'll get an LOA, which is what you need to hand to your data center operator, in this case, Center Square, to run that physical cross connect. That's the longest pole in the tent, which is that physical single mode fiber between the Megaport rack and your rack. Once that's set up, you'll be able to connect to anything else in our network. So let's go ahead and look at Google Cloud because that's where we're going. Google Cloud is simple in that you just have to do a service key or a pairing key. So let's go over to the Google console. Let's go back here. So I already have a couple VLAN attachments already set up. Let's go ahead and walk you through what it looks like to have a new one though. So you click add VLAN attachment and we want the partner interconnect option. We want to do it unencrypted. Click continue. Now it says here, if you have an existing physical connection provided by your service provider, you can continue. So I already have a service provider. We're going to do a redundant pair of VLAN attachments. And we're going to connect to my default network. And since we're in Dallas, there we go, South 1. So I have a router there. Call it. You won't let me. Dallas A. And set your MTU. B. So we're going to click create. So in a couple seconds, this will populate that pairing key. Let's go ahead and go back to the Megaport portal and see where we are with the ports. So you can see here the LOAs are already available. Let's click on this. So that's what this looks like. Has the formatting for where everything is located in the Meet Me room. And it's as simple as handing that over to your data center operator. Let's go back to, so we see here now that the pairing keys are available. So let's copy this. And we're going to go back to, let's look at port 1 first. So I'm going to paste the pairing key. And you can see an interesting thing here. So it'll have the nearest on-ramp and it's 2 milliseconds, but it's in the blue diversity zone, but our port is actually in the red zone. No problem. The on-ramp, the keys are kind of dedicated to the on-ramp, so we're going to use the other key. So I think it was B, but we'll see what this one was. Ah, nope. That's embarrassing. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so now we have a red on-ramp. So we have a red port here going to a red on-ramp. And it's important because if we ever do software maintenance on the Megaport side, we would only take down one zone at a time. We would never take down both zones. So you wouldn't want one zone maintenance to affect both of your services. And you can see here, it's only about 2 milliseconds away in Dallas. But you can peer at any other location within our network, and you can see there's about 50 or so available. So let's go next. Click here. This is port 1 red, GCP red. Our rate limit. So on the GCP side, you actually select the bandwidth on the Megaport portal and it automatically negotiates the virtual cross connect or VXC. As far as VLAN on the A side, so this is a .1Q VLAN that you configure on your device. You can pick whatever you want, or you can have one automatically assigned, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to also do this on a month-to-month term since this is a demo, but you can also have a term on the virtual cross connect to save you money as well. So here's a summary of what we just had. Let's click Add VXC. Let's go ahead and add this other one. So I need to copy the other service key. And so you can see this has the blue, and we got blue going to blue. Pretty simple. And we're also going to do this at 50. All right, so what I have now in my shopping cart are these two virtual cross connects to Google Cloud. You can see here nothing's ordered yet. Same scenario where it's in my shopping cart. You can save this configuration if you're not ready. If you wanted to just test this out, see what it costs, or stage things until you're ready to make the change, and you would just click save and you can rename it or whatever. Let's go ahead and order it though. So once we click order now, this is actually reaching out to GCP's API to negotiate the link. So we just got a confirmation that it's in a deployable state. So it's actually going and negotiating it in the portal. If you look in the portal, so these are so Dallas A and Dallas B are the ones that we set up. So now it says waiting for service provider. Give that a couple seconds to sync up. That's one issue whenever you're doing cloud stuff, especially when you're doing a demo because you're just watching things, and it always takes longer when you're watching it. While we're waiting on that, let's just go ahead and review the rest of the portal just so you can see where things are. On the bottom right here, we have this chat icon, which is a real person on the other side of that, and that's 24/7. So if you ever need any sort of first tier of response, you would want to engage that, or you can engage your account team. On the upper left, we have a service status. So this is where, I'm sorry, upper right. So this is where you would have any sort of maintenance. If you had any outages, you can find more information here. We have this handy dandy what's new that kind of announces different features that are continuously being added. Finally, we have our tools, which has a link to our documentation, our API stuff, and our looking glass. So documentation has everything that you would need. Let's go to cloud connectivity and on a port and Google Cloud. So this is what would actually be uh, a good guide for what we just did. Um, let's see, let's go back to the portal and see where we are now. Still in a deployable state. So we're still in a deployable state here, but are waiting for service provider, but you can see this one says activation needed. We have a VLAN now, and it's at 50 megs. So on the GCP side, we would just, in order to actually need to use it, you would have to hit this activate. Pretty straightforward. So you can see now we see a VLAN's been selected on Dallas A side. And you also see that it's with Megaport. So, and it's negotiated the speed. So I just want to see if this will kick over. So one of the things that's different about GCP is once you actually use the key, you can't recover it. Like there's no, I mean, maybe there is somewhere to find it, but you can't find it normally. So on a VLAN attachment that you haven't used, the pairing key is right there, but once you use it, you can't find it. Not in the same way. But you can see here, so it's 50 megs. We're in Dallas. And it's a partner. And so, you would go, so Megaport is all layer 2, by the way. So the layer 3 would be between Google and your device. So going back. So you can see now both of them are in activation, 659 and VLAN 1011. So let's go to the Megaport portal and refresh this. So now we're in a configured state. Let's see what VLAN we pulled up. So this one has 659. And if you click over to the logs, nothing's going to show because we're still waiting to see light. Once we see light, this icon actually turns green, and then this thing will turn green too. So, and just to complete the whole process, oh, sorry. If you click on the VXC, there's the VLAN 1011. So it's as simple as that. You can see now, if we zoom in on the dashboard, you can see this is Center Square in Fort Worth going to an on-ramp in Dallas. And so, you'll be able to, see geographically how things are laid out in your network. But that's all she wrote. And just to kind of review quickly, what we did was we were in Fort Worth, Center Square, Fort Worth. We deployed 2 ports in different diversity zones connecting to Google in Dallas. So we on-ramped in Dallas and then connected that to a GCP region, US South. So that's it in a nutshell. Super simple, super scalable, super flexible. You can start with 50 megs and go up to 10 gigs if you wanted to. But thank you for joining me today. You guys have a great rest of your day and a good weekend.